Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here. It's Dallas Trading Floor. It is a Thursday, and we're here in Dallas at Preston Road, the Preston Road Studio. And the market is pulling back a little bit again today. We're definitely under a confirmed. It's the uptrend is weakening. We're still in a confirmed uptrend, but it's an uptrend under pressure. So it's not necessarily a good time to be going into positions with any kind of margin, and possibly looking to take a little bit of risk off. We may see a reversal. We're still. I did though go in and buy Tesla today. That might have been a mistake. But because it is trended down, but it trended up this morning, and we'll cover that just in a minute. But just wanted to get into it, and kind of give a brief overview of the market. Again, we are in a we're in an uptrend under pressure, and I want to be very specific about that. This happens basically when we may have a possible reversal. Both the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Dow Jones are all down today when the slide was taken just a few minutes ago. It's an uptrend under pressure. There's basically three modes that the market is in. There is a confirmed uptrend. That's a green arrow up. There's a there's a uptrend under pressure. That is a yellow arrow up. And then there is a market in correction. We're not in a market in correction, but this is a time to possibly be a little bit careful on any potential buys that you have going into this, because we could be in a situation where we will see a reversal. We've had a few down days, but it's the recovery from this is a little bit is a little bit weak. So I kind of want to go through the major indices here. The first one, of course, being the Spider. This is the world's largest ETF. And basically what's happening here is that it looks like it is bouncing off the 50-day moving average. It has not changed direction, but as you can see in the past, this is kind of what happens. It'll bounce, and it looks like we're bouncing again off the 50-day. There is some upward buying pressure today, but it's very, very mixed. The day started out relatively strong, and it looks like it's into the close. It's weakening. They're selling into the close. So it's definitely a very mixed picture right now. And I did go into a few positions, but it's probably a little bit early. I want to show you the QQQ, and it's sitting right at the 50-day line. As you can see, it's just bounced right there. We had a bounce down 2 days ago, bounce up yesterday, and we're bouncing down. It looks like volume is coming back to about the average, but still the volume in the last few days has been fairly significant. There's been a lot of selling, so it is definitely not in a market uptrend, so be very, very careful. Set your stop losses. And it's not necessarily a bad time to enter a stock, but if you do that, you want to be very careful and hedge your position with a stop loss. Very, very important, because we could move up from here, but we also could move significantly down from it. So you want to be quite careful in terms of where you have your stop losses placed. Here's my holdings currently. As you can see, I did add 3 positions. I added Penn National Gaming. That's doing best by far. That was a breakout today. That was on this small this on the small portfolio, and I'll give you an idea of how you can get that in just a few minutes. I entered in Tesla, but I did hedge the position. I've sold call options against the positions that I have, so and plus put in stop losses. That is up just very slightly in volume, but it is down in price, so at least when this was taken. So hopefully we will see it settle here. The buy point on Tesla calculated yesterday was 359, so we're right almost at the buy point. So hopefully we will see some support there going forward. So that's the hope on that. And I just wanted to show you really quickly also, if you want to get in touch with me, here is my phone number in Dallas, and also if you go to dallastradingfloor.com, I do have issues of both some of the past archives of the shows that are on YouTube, and that's on youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor, and also it is available on Periscope, pscp.tv/DallasTradingFloor, and twitch.tv/DallasTradingFloor, and also on Facebook as well. So we are trying to be out there and all everything. And of course, we're always on TikTok. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with TikTok, but it looks like TikTok has a reprieve, at least for a month. So they won't be shutting down TikTok anytime before October 15th. So if you're enjoying the show on TikTok, please go over to youtube.com and subscribe so that we can still stay in touch in case there is an issue with with TikTok being banned. So we don't know what's going to happen. We don't have any inside information. So if you do that, that would be great. And just go to www.youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor, and then go over to make sure it's Dallas Trading Floor. This is show number 128, just so you know. And if you want to sign up for our free action trade alerts, they're great. They're basically action alerts on how I'm trading. And that is available. Just go to DallasTradingFloor.com and just fill out your first and last name and a email address, and it's totally free. And we send those out whenever there's an opportunity in the market. So that's what we're here for. Also, we do have access to the small portfolio. That's also available by going to Dallas Trading Floor and going to the lower right-hand corner and first and last name and email address, and we'll send you out a link for that too. So that's a great way to go as well out there with the small portfolio, and I'll be showing you that in just a second when we get to the questions. So let me kind of show you kind of where we are in terms of where we know what the makeup of the small portfolio is. This is a model portfolio that I trade in. This is real dollars, so this is definitely something out there. As you can see, it's changed a little bit from yesterday. We're still half in cash. We do have a position, an almost a full position in Tesla, Penn National Gaming, and in Microsoft. That's basically it. They're basically all down as of this slide. So, it was up this morning, but we're down on each one of the positions. So it looks like we're getting a selling into the close of today. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention here. And again, that's available through DallasTradingFloor.com. Just go in and sign up for the link, and we'll send it right out to you. And of course, it's all free. So great way to go. So here we go. Here's the first questions. Brutal day again at the close. Only stock up is the cruise lines. Wait a minute, I have to, we'll just have to take that off there. I've got to put on my mute on there. Okay, yeah, we may, it's true, there definitely has been a brutal day into the close. We may be seeing a change a change in the characteristics of the market. We may see a down day tomorrow. It's very, very possible that we will. So, basically with this, so we just have to set our stop losses and be very, very careful here that we protect ourselves in this position. What did you look for to see an uptrend was under pressure yesterday? Well, what I do is I use indicators basically from the Investor Business Daily, and they do prints this. I always put this up. If you're looking at my show, basically what I do is at the start of the show I show a slide, and that slide I'll kind of just show it to you again because it's definitely worth looking. If you don't have time to watch the whole show, if you just catch the first few minutes of it, I always show this slide so you get an idea of what's happening. Basically, it's this little arrow here. It's a yellow arrow, so the market is not in correction, but it is the uptrend is under pressure. It is losing its steam. That's one of the first slides that I will put up every time, so that you can see that. So that's a good way to trade if you are in the stock, you want to make sure that you're setting stop losses, and making sure that you're setting stop losses, at about 7% down from the current price. So be very careful on that when we're in a when the uptrend is under pressure. Did you look to see the uptrend was under pressure? Yes, I did. Okay, Workhorse. Let's see what's happening with Workhorse. Now, interestingly enough, a very interesting article came out on Nikola, if you're interested, and this was about how basically, even though they did sign a deal with GM, there's a lot of fraud in Nikola. So you've got to be very careful with this particular stock. You really do, because it is one that is not, they're not on the up and ups on the financials on Nikola. I know that's probably, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but there may be some fraud involved there. So you want to be careful with Nikola. You kind of want to blacklist that particular symbol. So let me get Workhorse up here. And let's pull that up. Here we go. Workhorse, WKHS is the symbol on that. And Workhorse Group, it's down a little bit today. Not bad. A little bit less, almost $1, but kind of the pattern is relatively good. It's above the 40-day moving average, but it is pulled back today. But most of the market has pulled back today, so this is not quite unusual. I don't think I would be a buyer at this particular instance, because it looks like it's going to move back down to the 40-day line, and that line basically is at 24. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. That's wrong. The 40-day line is about at 18. So I really wouldn't buy it until it's bounced off that 40-day average. So that would be how I would play Workhorse. Don't really know about the prospects for Workhorse, but it does seem to be getting some traction, and the chart is not terrible. It probably could be better, though, in terms of a buyable chart pattern. So let's look at the chart pattern on my little bit better software here to show that. So let's look at Workhorse again. WSK. It's WRKS. WRKS. There we go. Is that it? No. Okay, WKHS, pardon me. I get this one wrong. WHKS. So let's see if I can get that. WHKS. And let's see if we can get some buy points on that. Is that right? WHKS? WKHS. I'm sorry. WKHS. Great. So let's take, well, it's still not giving me. It's still not giving me, so I have to move on, unfortunately. There. Trying to diversify. How about Disney or Ultra? No, no, and no. Everybody out there, Disney is potentially a very dangerous stock to be in. I think it may be a short, so be very careful with Disney. I wouldn't recommend it. Even though everybody holds it, I think it's set up with this reopening thing as potentially a problem. So be very, very careful with that. Ultra Beauty, I'm not really that. I mean, I'll take a look at Ultra chart, but I don't know if that is going to be the answer either. When markets get like this, you just can't really, you really. You really have to be careful and very, very selective. Neither of those would I consider. Now let me show you the Ultra Beauty chart, and the reason I wouldn't buy this one is because we have a downward trending chart. It's not that much of a slope. It is moving above the 200-day moving average, but anytime in a market like this that the 50 days below the 200-day, I think it's you got to be very, very cautious about buying it. So let's take a look at the Disney chart, because I think that is an important chart. A lot of people are in Disney. Again, Disney is sort of the tale of two cities. They've got Some very good properties with Disney Plus, and that's doing great. And they are moving up, but I just still don't like this chart, and I'll show you why I don't. And the main reason I don't like it is because the 40-day, now it looks like the 40 days, the 50-day moving average is about ready to cross the 200-day, and the 21-day is already up. It seems like it's sticking right on the 21-day line, but I think I think it's. This is a more viable chart than Ultra, but I still don't like it. I think that it's time probably to hold back and see how the market is going to trade before jumping in as well. So that's my opinion. Lululemon and Tesla. Lulu is definitely a short. Let me show you the chart for Lulu. Has gotten way ahead of itself. I know that people really like those yoga pants, but I just don't think it's the one. Yeah, and this is why you don't want to consider Lulu. It's crashing through that. It's crashed through the 21-day. It's crashed through the 50-day, and it's headed towards the 200-day average. There's lots of selling activity. By the way, when you see this abnormally large selling activity with a gap down like this is the institutionals are selling out of Lululemon. You don't want to be in this. This is a potential short, though. This is a shortable stock. I would not buy this long. Lululemon is just not the place to be. Now let's look at Tesla, because that's the one that most people have exposure to, and that one is a hard one because it has definitely made a turn. But the question is, how much? And so I want to show you that chart right now with Tesla. As you can see, it has made there is a lot there. We're still in an upward momentum on Tesla. It's at the very lowest part of the trading range today, but the stock is up. It's up $6.33, and it looks like it's moving higher into the close. That is a good sign. The pivot on Tesla that I put out there yesterday is 359.24. 359.24, and it's above that now. So I believe that hopefully, if we see a good day tomorrow, that Tesla will move above the 21-day moving average. That's my hope. That would be about 385 on that. So hopefully Tesla has made the turn. Lululemon is not making the turn. It's probably going to be short. I mean, it's probably going to be a good candidate to short. So just FYI, FYI on that one. It's a little bit dangerous. Lululemon is in danger territory, I'm afraid, right now. Should I keep my short on Tesla started at 388? Well, you know what? I wouldn't do it. I would. That's a good question. So you sold at 388. What I would do is I would close it right now. I would buy the stock back. You could buy it right now at 373, and then satisfy your short. So what I would do on that was I would be, I would probably close that. I would probably close that, but it's really up to you. That's interesting. Overnight, I mean, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was right at the moment. It just depends on how it trades. It just depends on how it trades. I think it might. The question is, how is it going to trade around the pivot? The pivot point on Tesla right now is 359. So that's the number you have to keep in mind. It's trading above 359. My guess is, and I took a little bit of a gamble here this morning by going back in to Tesla, and I probably bought it too high again. But my guess is that it will tend to stick at that pivot point at 359. Now, it's not set in stone. I have stop losses in the whole 9 yards, but I am currently long Tesla and not short Tesla. So that kind of shows you my thinking. I don't know if I would keep it. See what happens. overnight. That's a really interesting one. Can you look at Peloton? Here's the problem. Here's the thing about Peloton. Peloton has done great in in this this closed economy, but now we're coming on. We may be reopening. Hopefully, we will. And I think it's extremely vulnerable because earnings basically are on the 15th. So I think that's right. Let's look at it. Yeah. No, they're today. Earnings are today. You know what? If you've had Peloton right now and you're in it long, sell it. Sell it immediately because earnings are it's probably going to reverse lower today. I mean tomorrow. This is potentially a short, actually. But I do believe it's going to open lower tomorrow after the earnings. This is even if they have great earnings, and so if you're in this long, I would consider closing the position right now, based on what I'm seeing on this chart. So that's just because I don't like to hold a stock like this in a confirmed in a market under pressure. I don't want to hold anything into earnings. I want to sell it and then find out what happens and then buy it on the other side. Not hold it through. It's just it's just too difficult. Are we crashing? Well, no, we're not crashing yet. This is nothing compared to what it can be, but we're definitely down. In it's looking as if let's look at the spider. I just want to look at the live chart of the spider to see how it's doing. Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, we're off on the spider. So let me show you the spider. The key level on the spider is basically 350. It's moving down to the 50-day average. My guess is, and it's all the way down. So on the candle. So my guess is we're going to see tomorrow. It needs to bounce off that 50-day. To show support, but if it goes through it, then we're going to be in a correction. So right now we're not, but we could easily go into a correction tomorrow if the spider falls below the 50-day moving average, which is a pivot basically at 329. So we're very close to that at 334. So if we are to move below 329 tomorrow, there's a potential that we could actually move from a confirmed downtrend into a correction. So hopefully we won't get there, but we're right now in an uptrend under pressure. That is where we are standing. Worth keeping Apple bought in at 122. Good question on Apple. I bought Apple as well. I do think it. I didn't buy it at those levels, but I do think it's still pretty good. It's below the 21-day moving average, but it's above the 50-day. So I'm pretty confident that it's probably going to go sideways for a while. So that might I wouldn't necessarily sell Apple right now at 122, but I would put a stop loss in there. Make sure you put in that stop loss at 7% down. So in your case, it would be you multiply 118 times 0.93, and that's going to be where you want to set your stop loss and set it good till cancel as well. That's going to be where you're going to want to be. So let's see. Questions from TikTok. Let me see if I can get you a good thing here. So I'm trying to look at it. Okay. Okay. I can hardly see this, so I'm gonna have to come up on this really close. Let's see. Option trade tomorrow. When is Tesla bounce? Well, I think it's bounced. I think the bounce has happened, and the pivot is 359 on Tesla. That's what that's what I think. That's why I think it's moving. It's moving, and that's kind of what I'm playing on right now. There, and that's sort of where the bounce was, basically at. At 359. Now Tesla is moving up into the close, So I do think that there is a pivot at 359 on Tesla. We're currently at 373. So that's where we are in Tesla. Let me see if I can get the next question off of TikTok. I need to get a bigger screen here for my for mine. What about FMCI? Let me look at FMCI really quickly here and see if I can give you a good read on FMCI. FMCI is the, pull that up, and Forum Manager 1, this is SPAC. I can't really tell you, unfortunately, I can't really tell you on a SPAC. Here's the thing, folks, with SPACs. I mean, yes, they can be very good. I mean, they had a very successful, they've had some very successful SPACs. Nikola was a SPAC, but I don't know if you saw it today. They came out and apparently Nikola, everything about it is fraudulent. So investing in SPACs right now, I don't think is a good idea. Wait until they've bought something and we can actually find out what they've bought. And right now it's just a blank check, and who knows what they're going to buy. So I really don't have anything for you on that with a SPAC. So be super careful investing in SPACs, because typically the way an IPO works is that typically when it initially goes on, it will go down in value for the first 3 months, and then it will turn. So I like to see, if I'm buying something new that's just come in, like a SPAC that was already on, that's a reverse merger, I like to have it seasoned for at least 3 months to see kind of what it's going to do. I'm really, it's better to miss an opportunity rather than invest in something that you just don't know what it's going to do. What it's going to do. So, how do we set a stop loss on Wealthsimple? I don't know on that one. I personally use a little bit more professional platform, and I use TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim, and it's very easy to set stop losses on that. But you do have to be very careful, because if you don't have a stop loss in there and the stock falls, another thing too, by the way, if your stock is going down and you want to sell, and you want to do a market sell and you don't have a stop loss in, you will be put at the back of the queue. So sometimes, even though you push the sell button, because you don't have a stop loss in, you will be routed to the bottom of the pile, and you will not get a fill at the optimal rate. That's why I always recommend putting a stop loss in, and make sure that you know how to do that. So step 1, buy the stock. Step 2, multiply it times 0.93. That'll give you the stop loss number. Put that in your system, good till cancel. Make sure that you have that stop loss in, because if it does move down, you don't want to lose your capital. Thoughts on ACTO? Okay. Let's see if I can pull that up on my system. See if I can get you no, unfortunately I can't on mine. It's the Toronto Exchange. So let me see. No, AC. No, unfortunately I can't bring that up. I'm going to have to get a better coverage on some of the Canadian things as well. I apologize for that. Hi Tim, how would you rate Restoration Hardware? It's up 20% today. What's the best entry point? That's a good question. Yeah, RH has been doing really, really well. Restoration Hardware, because of this, everybody is improving their home because they're working from home, they're playing from home, a lot of other things. Yeah, it gapped up today. They had really good earnings. It was on earnings. That's interesting. Up 63%. Now, this is typically not the way it happens. Typically, when you have increasing earnings, and I know this sounds counterintuitive, it will go down. But this is bucking the trend. I'm a little bit leery at buying it at this level, but buying on see what happens tomorrow on how this thing settles down, and then if it's probably going to trade down a little bit tomorrow. When it reverses, that's when you might consider wanting to get in. A gap up is a very, very good thing, and that's one of the reasons why in the small portfolio today I went into Penn National Gaming, was because it did have a gap up, and that can be a very, very good thing. So, but even with that, even with the gap up on Penn National, as you can see from the small portfolio, it's still down over the day. I mean, I'm down 2%, even though I think I bought it as right as I could. But so you got to be careful. It on the day of the breakout, it can be very tricky, but it definitely is worth looking at because you could definitely do very, very well with that. So let me look at PIN. This is another case of a breakout that happened today. So I just want to show everybody there this path. Yeah, there we go. This is another breakout like Restoration Hardware, just trying to compare them. And of course, what you're looking for in a breakout is a normally high value and then a movement up. So let's compare that to the Restoration Hardware chart, and I want to see that because to kind of give you an idea of where you could constantly come in tomorrow. Boy, that's really good. Yeah, this is definitely, yeah, you definitely want to buy this one tomorrow. This is a great one. I'm going to put this down. Thank you very much for Restoration Hardware. It looks as if this may see a new movement up because it is a breakout. It's on extremely high volume. Yeah, this is buying a breakout is actually potentially a very good strategy to acquire stock. So that's very, very good, very, very interesting. That you brought it up. Thank you very much. What about government stimulus in the absence of general reasons for a sell-off? What if more stimulus is passed? Well, absolutely. If more, and that's part of the problem, is that with all the stimulus in the market, of course, the market has been going up. They're at loggerheads right now between the Democrats and the Republicans in terms of the stimulus bill. It looks as if it may go sideways for a little bit, and that's probably one of the reasons for the market being in being a constrained uptrend, where it's uptrend is under pressure, is because of that. There's an awful lot of stimulus money coming into the market, and the lack of it in the reopening could change the character. But I just have a feeling that because we're right before the election, I think that going into the election, we're probably going to be pretty strong. Now, after that, I just don't see it being as strong, and I'm probably going to be a seller. It puts on Lulu. Oh, nice, very nice, very nice, Arnold. I'm sure you're going to do extremely well in puts on Lulu. I think, and I didn't really get to it before the show, but it's on my short list of companies to short. I think that you're going to do probably very well with the puts on Lulu. I do think there's going to be a sell-off on Lulu, and if you do buy a naked put, this is one of the few times you want to buy a naked put. But I think there's a good likelihood that you're going to do quite well on this. So. That is very good. Thank you very much for bringing that up. Would you give your opinion on ZWC? It's a high dividend Canadian stock, holding for long term. I am not a particular fan of ZWC. You know what? Unfortunately, I can't get I can't give you an idea on that stock. I just can't pull it up. ZWC, it won't let me see it on the. Is that on the TSX? All right, let's see if we got it on the TSX. Let me see if I can pull it up on the TSX. No, unfortunately, it's not letting me pull it up. Oh, that's too bad. I've got to find a way to do this because I do get a lot of questions on Canadian stocks, so I can't really give you a read on that. I apologize for that. I got restricted for purchasing stocks because of the pattern of pattern today. What do I do with my life now? Okay. Yeah. I know you got flagged for pattern day trading. Well, you just kind of have to sit on your hands, but they'll lift it. They should lift your restriction. You may be out for a week. It's sort of like in hockey. How you get the penalty box. I mean, I can't really I just call up the brokerage and find out what you have to do. You probably just have to sit it out. That's probably all you can do. So. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I got another question on SPACs. Really, I mean, people, listen, SPACs are a fool's paradise. Please be very careful with them. They're they're blind pools, and you don't know who they're going to buy. I mean, sure, you can get lucky with a Nikola, but even Nikola now, they're saying that it was fraud, and so please, just I know that SPAC is out there. I think this one is a Bill Ackerman deal. This SPAQ, it's sort of the it's sort of the investment du jour, and there's been a lot of investment in it. I'm not saying it isn't, but I just don't really think that it's a good idea to buy something that you don't know who controls it and what it's buying. So I just can't see it. Other than that, I think it's great. Other than that, I think it's great. No, I don't think you just be really careful with SPACs. I don't think they're a good way to invest. I got stopped. Okay, well, sorry about that. Actually, getting stopped sometimes is a really good thing. You look back and you say, "Darn, I got stopped," but a lot of times that means that it's going to go down more. So protect your capital. That's the main thing, is protect your capital. Okay, I bought Tesla at 435. Should I hold? Well, here's what I would do, and you're probably not going to like to hear this. I would sell it right now, and then I would wait for it to start moving. But it doesn't mean that if you sell it, you can't rebuy it. But you've let it move down more than 7%. I don't like to hold anything that's moved down more than 7%. That said, Tesla is unbelievably volatile, so it can move 7% super easy in a day. It does all the time. So, but I would sell it if you're at 435. I would be selling there. I would sell it. Preserve your capital. I mean, it could go lower now. I don't think it will. I think that the pivot on Tesla is 459. I mean 359. I mean, that's what I was putting out there yesterday. I bought some in the smart portfolio on that. I do think that we have a pivot at that level, but if you're at 435 and you bought it, I think that you might want to sell it, because just don't take the losses. It's not worth it. Come back into it when it's on at a better level. That's my opinion. Why was the VIX down today? VXX. Well, because we're really not. We're really in a situation where we still are not really. The market is it's sort of perched on a knife's edge right now, and I want to show you that we're not. It's not definitely not in correction, but it's not in an uptrend. It's sort of stalled. It's like if you imagine a plane. It's just at a stall point. It could, the nose could go down, and then we can come right back up, or it just can fall. So it's a relatively precarious thing, but it's not. It's definitely not yet into correction. So that's what I was trying to say about the market is under a is in a correction. I mean, it's not in a correction, but is in a stalled situation. So let's look at some psychological indicators here to see kind of where I want to see what the VIX is doing here to give you an idea of how it's going to set up for tomorrow, and that's really probably the best thing, the takeaway that you can do today. Yeah, okay, so here you go. Here's the headline. Basically, it's into the close. It's going down. So really, what we have is a situation where it is mostly, the uptrend is under pressure. It's not, it's not necessarily moving down, but it's not moving up. So it's kind of in the it's kind of in that kind of weird space. So let's take a look at the volatility index just to see kind of what it's saying potentially about the open tomorrow, because I think that's going to be important for everybody here, is how it's going to open. Well, actually, the volatility is actually moving down, which is very interesting. So I'm going to show you this chart here. We saw a spike in the volatility, and that was basically on Monday, and we have been essentially moving down. We may reverse, but by the way, this is the inverse of what's happening. So if it spikes up like that, that means the actual S&P market is going down. So this is just the inverse. We're looking at a mirror image, essentially, of the market. But it looks as if we're going to see. It looks as if we're just in that kind of terrible situation where we're not either up or down. We're just kind of sideways in the market. So that's kind of what that's saying right now. Okay. Any thoughts on retail stocks? Macy's. Ooh, I don't think. Unfortunately, Macy's has structural problems. It's a great company, but it's in the wrong industry. And I just don't think M is a good stock because it's just too difficult to. It's down today and it's under $10. This is just really not something you want to buy. I just think this is a lot of misery in the stock. I don't think you even want to short it. I just don't see this as being a very, very good buy. I know it's less. I know it's cheap, but it's cheap for a reason, and the reason is it's probably not going to recover. A lot of Macy's are going to close, and it probably will file bankruptcy. J.C. Penney's did, and that may, Macy's could still be a category that unfortunately goes down. So I wouldn't be in it. Got rid of my short on Tesla and bought it back, as well as AMD, Apple, at all discounts. Very good, man. Tim, you're playing like a real trader. It's very smart to do that because you just readjusted your positions. I think you've done very, very well. You got to pat yourself on the back. That's a good trade. That's a very, very good trade. What is the best way to set a stop loss when to get executed if the price fluctuation took place pre or post? Okay, here's the thing: when you're setting a stop loss, it's very important that you have it for market hours only, because here's the thing of using extended hour stop losses, which they have. They're not necessarily optimal because the stock that the price trades after hours may not be the stock that it opens at. It may open up or down. So when you do the stop loss, make sure it's set for market hours only, and that will protect you from that. So that's that's the way you do it on that. So with the stop loss, but stop loss is extremely important in a market like this. Please advise on CNK, hold or sell. Okay, let me take a look at CNK just quick and see if I can give you sort of my take on it. Let's see, it's CNK. All right, well. Let me bring up my other better charts here because I have that going. CNK. And is that what we want? CNK. CNK. Yeah. I apologize. Set a mark. Oh my goodness. I don't know. You're not going to like hear us selling this. I mean, it's so cheap. I would sell this. It's fallen below the 21-day moving average. It looks like it's about ready to crash through the 50-day moving average. It's already below the 200-day. There's a lot of selling pressure. Sell this thing. Sell it. Sorry to give you that information, but sell that one. No, I don't think it's going to recover. Thanks, man. AVGO. This is Broadcom. This is a potential short. You're not going to like to hear that at all. But yeah, this is Broadcom. Let's see if it comes up here. Yeah, Broadcom. This is a classic potential head and shoulders short. It's a very expensive stock. It is a 3G stock, but I don't have much confidence in it. This is a topping formation here. Let's go back to the weekly chart to take a look to see if I'm indeed telling you. I'm not telling you a tale. I do believe that we're starting to see. This is the first shoulder. This is the head. It's not ready to go, but I do think this is going to fall off to the. I think it's going to fall off to the 50-day moving average, and then if it makes a move below that with the right shoulder, this is a short. I don't like Broadcom very much, even though the chart is not bad. But I don't. I think it may have peaked. I don't want to be in Broadcom right now, so sorry about that. SPAC deal is backed by, but yeah, I mean, hey, look, who can argue with Volkswagen and Bill Gates? They're both extremely rich, but I just be careful. Wait until they show their hands. It's like what it's sort of like. The problem with SPACs is it's sort of like I don't know. I don't know if you ever watched that show where they go to the auctions at the storage units, but it's kind of like that. It's like, yeah, you could buy that storage unit and you can open it up and it can be like power tools and it's worth a fortune, but it can also be like a bunch of dirty laundry, and that's sort of what a SPAC is. It's just you don't know what it is. I think it's great that Bill Gates is backing it. He's got more money than practically anyone on the planet. So you can't argue with that. But I wouldn't be in it. I just don't like SPACs because I like to know what I'm buying. Oh, Peloton crushes estimates. Okay, well, there you go. So Peloton, maybe, it may be time. You always want to buy it after, sell on, buy on rumor, sell on fact. I mean, that's definitely it. So let's look at Peloton. Let's see what it's doing in after hours. What's happening with it? Peloton. Okay, it's up in after hours. So it crushed it. Yeah, it crushed it. So yeah, this might be a buy at the morning. I mean, this might be. It's it's certainly an excellent chart. I can't. It's an excellent chart. I can't. I can't fault it. So that might be the one to go into. That definitely might be. It does look. It looks pretty strong to me. What do you think about doing a bull call spread on the SPY? Um, Possibly, possibly. I think that it's probably. I just don't know where the spiders headed right now. I do think it's going to retreat a little bit. I would probably do a bear call spread, to be honest, not a bull call spread. But I could definitely look into that. Thank you for that very, very much. What about FedEx? It's funny. FedEx has done. Let's see. What is it? What is it? Fed. Let's see. Federal Express. Yeah, FDX. Okay, great. So let's look at the chart. Yeah, it's making very good. It's looking pretty good. This is not a bad chart at all. It's moved above the 200 day. It's above the 50-day. That's very good. It's right on this line. Yeah, I would say that my only concern is this weak volume, but it looks like it's just marching right up the 21-day average. So yeah, I think this one is fairly decent. It's off a little bit today. But the volume's low, so I'm not too concerned. It looks like it's hugging that 21-day moving average. So they're coming into a very strong season. The fall and the winter season are the best seasons for Federal Express and UPS because of the holidays. So yeah, I think that's definitely watch list. I don't know if I would buy it at this point. It's not really necessarily buyable at this point, but it is a very good. It's a good chart, and it looks like it's moving right up to that 21-day average. So I can't really fault it. I can't really fault it. Let's see. I'll get a real workhorse calls. Should I hold until the 18th down? I'm down. Ooh, you're too tight on this. When you own naked calls like this, you have what they call the theta decay. I just don't think this is going to be a good one. I think you should close your position and look for a better opportunity. That's my opinion on it. Microsoft. Let's look at Microsoft. I'm actually in Microsoft, so that is it's off today pretty significantly, down to about 205. I mean, I was in it at the wrong place there. I was in it at 220, so I'm off quite significantly on this. I do think it will bounce at the 50-day moving average, but I definitely underestimated the pullback. So I wouldn't be a buyer here, but I also would set my stop loss, and I wouldn't liquidate the position, but if I was down more than 7%, I would be out of it. But I do believe that Microsoft will recover because based on the chart, I think it's going to hug that 50-day line. So I am definitely a Microsoft bull. I bought Vert at 28. What do you think it'll go from here? That's one of the ones I think I had watch listed. VIRT. Let's look at it. Virtuous Financial. Yeah, okay, it's a 27, so it's basically even with volume. I think it's correct. I mean, the buy point on it is. It's right in the buy zone. It's right in the buy zone, so I would, set my stop loss and hold it because Vert looks fairly good at this level. That's what I'm seeing. So, yes, it's down a tad, but That's not bad considering the whole market has been selling off today. So that's pretty good. I would hold it. I would absolutely hold that one. Is Tesla increasing on battery day? Any predictions? Wow, it's hard. It's hard to say if they are, but I do think that the new battery is very, very significant from Tesla, and it's true. I mean, people, there was a huge pullback in Tesla, and if you've been watching the show for any amount of time, you'll know that I showed you my predictions on way I was trading Tesla. Now, I did, for full disclosure, I fully sold out all my positions right before it split, and then I've been waiting to come back in. I came back in fairly hard today. I bought 300 shares, so we'll see if that was foolish or not. But I was waiting for it to pull back to a buy point, and the buy point that I was able to find was 359. I do think that it will do well on battery day, but then again, I am a Tesla bull, and I do believe that we are seeing a very, very interesting company. Let's see. Okay, so it did. No, we're still. Are we still in? I think we're still in. No, we're after hours, but it's moved. It's 371 right now, so it's holding its own. I mean, it's off a little bit from the open, but it's definitely holding its own. Now, what will happen tomorrow? Who knows? But I do think that there is a floor at about at about 359. That's what I'm seeing, anyways, on that. So and I'm definitely in it as well. So I do think that that is where it is. So okay, buying point for Tesla and Apple. Okay, the buy point for Tesla that I have is 359.24. And it's not a strong buy point because it's not on a chart. It's not on a cup with handle or a cup or any of the base foundations, but it is at the 50-day moving average, and I do think that we are seeing definitely support there for Tesla. Now for Apple, I believe it's more like 106. I'm significantly Apple, I do believe, also is going, is pulled back a little bit, and I do think it's going to turn. But it's at 113. I do think that I basically think that the buy point is about 110 right now, based on the 50-day moving average is 110 on Apple, and we're above that. So I do think that at this point Apple is viable. Now the big issue that we're dealing with, the major issue that we're dealing with Apple is we are the market trend is under pressure, so it doesn't have as much power in the market, but I still believe, even though Apple has a huge multiple, that this upcoming announcement on the 15th is going to be very, very big, and I don't know if it'll shoot up, but I don't think that Apple is going out of business anytime soon. So I do think it's pulled back, and I think we're in a position that it's possibly a good buy right now. But you want to wait until it changes direction. Right now, it's been selling off. You want to buy it when it's on an uptick. So make sure you do that. And when you buy it, remember, set that stop loss. So that's so important to do that. Thoughts on Rite Aid or AD? I am not as big on the retail stocks as a lot of people are. I just don't. I think that America is over retailed, to be honest, and I do think that there's problems. This is not a chart that I would buy. We have it has moved below the 200-day moving average. It's got a relative strength of 65, which for a retailer is not bad. But I don't want to buy 65s. I want to buy 80s and better. So unfortunately, I can't recommend it. I can't recommend the stock. It does have good fund ownership. It's 36%, and it is like retail, but retail has gotten hit really hard. We're over retailed in this country. I think if anything, we're going to see closings in the retail sector and not openings. So I can't really recommend. I can't recommend it right now. That said, though, it's a good company, and it's a best of breed company. Okay, so let me look here on TikTok to see if I can give you anything. I hear that after let's see, so I can read this. I hear after 30 days, warrants become stock. Well, no, you have to exercise them, and there's all kinds of restrictions on them. So I don't think that necessarily that's the case. But check the warrants. I don't think you want to be buying warrants in the open market. Typically, there's a lot of restrictions on them. It's options are one thing, warrants are another, and warrants typically are given to staff of the company so that they can then acquire stock at a discount price, typically at a later date. But it's not really a tradable. It's not tradable like a option, which is a true contract. So be very careful with warrants, especially if you don't know about the company. Any thoughts about PK? PK. Let's look at that one. PK. And see if I can give you something on PK. Yeah, Park. Yeah, boy, this is not a sector you want to be in either. I know that I'm sounding super negative, but resorts, cruise ships. Now, it's true, Norwegian Cruise Lines has enough cash to last 2 years, but I just don't like to buy something. Here's the thing. I know that people want to buy stuff on sale, but in the stock market, you want to buy things that are typically expensive and getting more expensive. Because this is how you make money. You don't buy to keep, you buy to resell. So I want to buy the very best product that I have. Stock is really not to own. It's more like inventory that you're going to then resell. So I don't want to be in the hotels right now because of COVID-19. The occupancies are terrible. They're terrible in the restaurant sector. They're terrible in the airlines. They're terrible, and I'm sounding so negative, and I'm not. But this is just an area that it's better left, to the people that can lose a lot of money, because I do think that they're going to lose. On the other hand, technology. It's been the leader, but it's a leader for the reason, because the world is changing. We are going to a more virtual economy where people are doing much more online. So there are companies that are out there that can really benefit from this. This is a long-term trend. This is not a short-term trend. The problem that I have with retail, especially in most of the United States, is that this country is over-retailed. There are too many stores chasing too few people, and that's a problem. And when you have people like Amazon and you have the other sites that are crushing them, this is a disaster scenario, because they just can't, if there's not the customers, they just can't sell their way out of a problem. So a lot of these companies, unfortunately, need to shrink. Unfortunately, that's not good for you as an equity holder. So I am not a fan right now of hotels and resorts. I just don't think they're doing well. Now, that said, there is a sector in the real estate business that I do like. I like the new home builders, because millennial people are starting now to buy homes. We haven't really been building enough homes in this country for the last 10 to 15 years. And the homes that are being built, the interest rates are at an all-time low. There are certain markets that certain companies are building in that I think will be very favorable. Those are primarily the sand states. Those are the Florida, Texas, Arizona. I'm talking companies like D.R. Horton, Lennar, companies like that are going to do very well. And if you want a relatively less volatile stock, I think that's where you're going to look. And I'm going to hopefully do some shows on the home builders, because I do believe that they will, that they will fare a lot better. Okay, Joe Rowe, if your workhouse insured duration, yeah, I lost. Okay, great. This is a good. Brandon, thank you for that. Yeah, I don't normally comment, but that's good advice. If you're going to be in a long position, roll out, and you may take a little bit of hit, but I don't. When you get close into these, you don't have enough time. So I think that's very good advice. MasterCard or EMA? Which one do you trust more on your charts? Let me look at MA. MA is still. It's still MasterCard. It's still a strong stock. It's good. Here's the only thing about MasterCard on this is it's currently in the buy zone. MasterCard, believe it or not, right now is in a buy zone. But the thing about it is, what it's going to do, I believe, is because MasterCard is a quality stock, it's probably going to bounce off the 50-day moving average. That said, I don't particularly like MasterCard. I think there are better alternatives. And the better alternative that I always talk about here is PayPal. I think that MasterCard is the present. I think that PayPal may be the future. Now, by the way, the PayPal chart isn't all that great, but it is bouncing off this 50-day moving average. It's a little bit less expensive stock. It was down today, but I think that that's one you might want to consider as having a little bit better going forward fundamentals. I mean, nobody can really argue with MasterCard as a company. It's an excellent company and it has excellent prospects as we become more of a cashless society. So I don't dislike it's in a buy zone, and I don't dislike the chart at all for MasterCard. So let's look at EMA, and I'm not getting anything unfortunately. Okay, what about Walmart? Okay, this is WMT. Here's the thing about Walmart. Walmart, as you know, is part of this potential bid for TikTok with Microsoft. They're going to have a coalition. Look at that. Yeah, it's sticking right to the street. This is a quality stock. All the way around, it's a quality stock. If you're looking for a safe haven in this times trouble, I think you could do a lot worse than Walmart. Walmart is going to come out on the other side of this COVID thing as a winner. The thing I like about Walmart is that they've got size, they're everywhere, they have worked at their online presence for 10 years, and I think it's finally starting to see bearing fruit, because it looks like there is a big buy-in on Walmart. I'm looking at this chart. There was an all-time high 2 days ago. There was an all-time high. So big money is moving into Walmart. Very good one. I'm going to put this down. This is possibly one you want to carry for a while. I think that we're going to see in a turbulent market, Walmart is going to do very well. It's going to do very well. So even in this market, with with an uptrend under pressure, the Walmarts of the world are probably just gonna move very, very nicely. VOO. Let's look at VOO really quickly here. VOO, Vanguard, S&P 500 ETF. Okay, this is going to fall. This is essentially the same product from Vanguard that the SPY is from State Street. So they're this is the same thing. It's just a different flavor. It's Coke and Pepsi. This is. I think that we're going to see a little bit of weakness, but I do believe that there's going to be a bounce. Hopefully, a bounce. Now, if it does move below. If it does move below the 40-day, the 50-day moving average, and it very well could. It looks like at about 300. And it falls through that, then it may be a retest of the lows. If this thing starts moving down enough, it could be in a situation, but the whole market would be going down as well. So I don't dislike it at all. I don't dislike it at all. So the VOO is essentially like the spider. It's just a little smaller, but from Vanguard as opposed to State Street. So can you look into SPAC? Merger is planned for mid-October. We've talked about SPAC 3 times on here, and I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it because I don't know exactly what they're going to do yet. This is the SPAC that's being sponsored by Bill Ackerman of Pershing Square. He's made a lot of money shorting the market. So, but the last big SPAC quote-unquote success story was Nikola. Unfortunately, today there's information that comes out that it was a fraud, and that GM may have bought a huge pig in the poke because they have absolutely no products. So I just stay away. I don't think it's worth it until you see what's in. It's sort of like you want to kind of see what's in the hand. You don't want to just don't want to buy the contents of a storage unit without seeing inside. I mean, I really want to see what's inside of these SPACs before I'm buying them. Anyways. Okay, buy point on Amazon. This is probably the last one for today, but I think everybody can really buy here. AMZN. In Amazon, if you can only buy one share, this is probably the share that you want to buy. Amazon is terrific. The buy point, it's a little bit below the buy point currently. The pivot on a flat base is 33.44 is the pivot for Amazon. 33.44. It's a little bit below that today, but I'll put that out there. AMZN pivot is equal to 3344. So I'll put that out there to everybody on the chat. And by the way, just so that I cover this, everybody, action trailers are available. Super easy. All you have to do is go to www.Dallas Trading Floor and need the first and last name, and then also your email address. And of course, it's all free, so nothing to worry about there. And so it's we're also on YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. And typically, when these live shows end in about 30 to 45 minutes, it'll be archived on YouTube, and definitely take a gander back there, and I'm all on there. This is show number 128, and tomorrow should be interesting. I think I have one more question here. Let's see. 500 Tesla calls every Sunday battery day. That's not a bad idea. I do think we're going to see some. I do think we're going to see. Up into September, I think we're going to. I think we should see some really nice movement. I don't think that's out of the picture. I'd like it to be a little bit later than that, but I don't know if it's going to go to 500, to be honest. But I do think it's going to absolutely retake about the 420, 425 level. So I'll have more on Tesla tomorrow, of course. And I hope to see you then. It's 2:30 Central. Thanks, everybody. Tell your friends about us. We're on TikTok. We're on Periscope, pscp.tv/Dallas Trading Floor. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. We're on Twitch at twitchtv.com/Dallas Trading Floor. And we're also on Facebook. So tell everybody out there, I thank you so much for stopping by, and stop by the website if you want to learn the Can Slim method. I have several books on the site that might be of a help to you. Until tomorrow, I'll